Breaking news first at 6. A suspect accused in this deadly stabbing in Charlotte could now face the death penalty.
Today, the Justice Department filed federal charges against Carlos Brown Jr. He's accused of killing Irania Zarutska last month on a light rail train in Charlotte. That stabbing has ignited a lot of conversations about pretrial release for people convicted of violent crimes.
Yeah, North Carolina Congressman Tim Moore says enough is enough, and he's calling for the judge who released Brown to be removed. Capitol reporter Dina Harley joins us now. And Dina, you spoke with Congressman Moore about this today.
Yeah, this here behind me is the letter that Congressman Moore and the entire Republican delegation signed on to, demanding Judge Teresa Stokes be removed from office over in Mecklenburg County. It is not the only change that he is fighting for, though.
You know, what happened to Irina Zarutska is exhibit A, if you will, of a justice system that is failing so many Americans. And
North Carolina Congressman Tim Moore wants major change after a brutal random stabbing attack on a Charlotte light rail. Video shows the moment Irina Zarutska was stabbed by who police identified as DeCarlos Brown. Brown has a long history of charges and convictions in North Carolina, but was released on an unsecured bond on a recent charge. Congressman Moore wants the magistrate judge responsible, Teresa Stokes, removed.
This was a failure. This was as clear a textbook failure as ever, and people who did this have to be held accountable.
He's also backing legislation that would remove federal funding for states who adopt cashless bail policies and don't detain violent offenders like Brown while they wait for trial.
And this legislation is something that we've been talking about because we're seeing this around cities throughout the country, where these woke liberal policies of allowing these criminals back on the street that shouldn't be on the street, that should be being held awaiting trial, are getting out there, are being released over and over again.
Moore says he's talking with law enforcement and leaders in Charlotte, too, asking what needs to change.
My worry is if we don't do something that has some teeth in it, there'll be this outrage for a few months and then it goes away.
We'll ask Congressman Moore if he's concerned about overcrowding in jails or high vacancies in correctional staff all across the state and how that could impact people being held. He did say it's something that the state does need to figure out to make sure violent offenders are detained. Guys.
And Dina, we know that the governor also had a statement about this. What did he say about this in this situation and his call for change?
Yeah, he released a statement earlier this week saying more cops need to be on the streets, and that's why he's calling for more law enforcement funding here in the state. Several lawmakers, though, fired back almost immediately, saying this was not a law enforcement issue, but rather a courts issue.
All right, Dina, thank you so much.